This is the plaintiff, Robert Bellavie. He says the defendants hired him to take down their old drapes, clean, and reinstall them. He started the work. Then they tried to back out of the deal. Now they refuse to pay him. He can't let them get away with ripping them off like this, and is suing them for the $1,294.39 he's owed. These are the defendants, Mary and Vernon. Mary says they agreed to do the cleaning of the drapes, but did not agree to replacing the very costly linings. They had an uneasy feeling about this guy. They feel he's ripping them off and committing elder abuse because they checked around, and this guy's charging them almost 10 times the normal amount for this type of work. Owe him more money? No way. They're accused of calling it curtains.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says that he was hired to clean the defendant's drapes. They are now pleading poverty, saying they can't pay, but that's not going to cut it for him. Now, the defendants say that they were taken advantage of by the plaintiff because they're old, they were grossly overcharged, so they ain't paying the guy. It's the case of, it's curtains for you, buddy.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Bellavie, what do you do for a living? You own a drapery cleaners company?
Drapery cleaning service, yes.
And what is it you do?
I go to people's homes, offices, commercial places, and I take their window treatments down, clean them, press them, bring it back, and reinstall them.
Okay, and how long have you been doing that?
Over 30 years.
Okay.
So back in mid-November last year, I received a call from Mary inquiring about my service. I told her I would come out to her home. I would measure her window treatments, inspect them, give her a quote. If she was comfortable with the quote, I could take them down the same day. At that point, she wanted to make an appointment. So on 19th of November, I arrived at Mary's home. I measured 2 full-length custom pleated lined draperies, and as I inspected them, I noticed that the lining was very heavily damaged with sun rot. I showed Mary the sun rot damage, and I told her that the linings probably would not survive the cleaning. However, the actual drapery material would probably come out okay. We also discussed the option. I could either have the linings replaced, or I could, at no charge, cut the existing lining out, and she would still have draperies for probably about another 10 years at least.
Without lining?
Yeah, without the lining unlined. So I gave her a price for cleaning and pressing, as well as the cost of installing new linings.
And what was the price that you gave her?
So the price for the linings was $1,380.
And without the lining?
Just a clean and press was $862.40.
Plus what?
Plus tax.
Okay, and that's how you come up with the $931.39?
Yes.
Okay, so does she say yes?
She agreed to have me clean and press the draperies, but not to replace the linings.
Okay.
So she then signed the contract. I took her drapes down and I left.
Okay, let me see the contract that she signed. Yeah. Is this her signature on the bottom?
Yes.
Okay. And then what happens? When do you hear from her?
I received a call from the defendant telling me to hold off on the draperies.
Okay.
I told her that the drapes are already cleaned and pressed, and as I suspected, the linings shredded in numerous different places. I told her the front material, the draperies, they came out great. They cleaned and pressed great. She told me that she didn't know how she wanted to proceed and to hold on to the drapes. So then almost 2 weeks later, on December 3rd, I called Mary and I left a message for her to please contact me to let me know when I can deliver her draperies back. She didn't return the call.
Had you been paid anything at that point?
No, I don't take any deposits or anything.
How come?
Because 99% of the time people want their draperies back. You know, I mean, I've got thousands of dollars worth of window treatments and, you know, they just want them back. So,
yeah. All right, go on.
So then on December 6th, I left another voice message asking her to please contact me so we can arrange a day and time for me to bring her window treatments back. She didn't call me back either. So then on December 10th, I sent her the demand for payment letter. giving her 10 days. On December 20th, I received a voice message and an email from an attorney. So the next day on December 21st,
Wait,
I
what did the
contacted
attorney
Mr.
say?
He informed me that the defendant wanted to settle, but only for $400.
Wait,
So I
but
told him
had
it
she,
was,
so wait, before the attorney gets involved, had she ever said
Right.
to you, hey, this is overpriced, I've checked around town, you're charging me? Had you had any conversation with her
Nope.
since the day you took down her drapes? Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
No, and I tried to. I reached out to her two
All right.
times and then with the letter.
Let me hear from you.
But
Okay, let's put a pin there 1 second. You still have the drapes, right?
yes,
And you've been paid zero.
right.
Okay, Ms. Mary, let me hear from you.
Okay. As you can see, the plaintiff is a very good talker, and he persuaded me to sign this exorbitantly high dry cleaning quote, which indicated that the drapes wouldn't be ready for another 10 days.
How did he persuade you? By being a good salesman?
Yeah, I'd say very good salesman. And he offered all this kind of advice, and he actually stood over me while I signed the estimate and kept chatting and talking the whole time about some unrelated things as well. So I felt obligated. You know, he'd come to I called, asked him for an estimate on the phone, but he refused. He said, no, I have to come to your house. So I said, okay, when can you come? He said, I can come tomorrow. I said, all right. So he came out, and then he measured the drapes and did the things that he said he did.
Okay, so what's the problem?
Plaintiff says he was hired to clean and reinstall the defendant's curtains, and they aren't paying him for his services, and that just ain't right. The defendant says they regret hiring the plaintiff, who they feel is trying to rip them off because of their age, and that's elder abuse. Let's listen.
I was nervous because I thought it was high to begin with, and he was telling me all the reasons why he charges so much for the dry cleaning. He said, well, I dry clean the drapes in a machine all by themselves, so you don't have to worry about being with other people's material. And he said that we pleat the drapes. You know, we take very good care and do all these things. He was just making up all these reasons why his price was as high as it was.
How do you know he's making those reasons up?
Oh, I don't. Well, he's not making them up. He's telling me them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So from what I'm hearing, from what you're saying, he is telling you this is my service and this is what I charge, and you say yes. And so where's the problem? Like, how were you taken advantage of?
Well, the problem was that I said yes too quickly. I think that I get nervous and confused sometimes, and I felt obligated. I mean, he was very nice. He acted very nice, but he just...
Oh, that was sneaky of you, Mr. Bellavy. All right. So what happened, Ms. Mary? You just made some phone calls that you should have made beforehand, and you found prices that were cheaper?
Exactly.
Okay. How is that anything other than a you problem for not being educated before you entered into a contract?
Well,
I mean, you even call it like elder abuse and stuff. Come on. Seriously? How old are you? Because I don't think we're that different in age.
I'll be 75 in 2 weeks.
Oh, man, you look good. All right. Heaven bless you. You look like you're 30. All right. Yeah. I mean, you're a smart woman. You're not foolish. You're just trying to not have to pay the guy so much because you feel like it's too much. But that's different from being taken advantage of. Just by virtue of the fact that you're 75, that doesn't mean you can't, heaven forbid, that society say you're too stupid to enter into a contract, you're not wise enough, you're a protected class, we got to take care of you because some people are preying on you. You know, come on. You know how to enter contracts, break contracts. You even know how to call a lawyer to try to break the contract. According to you, Ms. Mary, you found prices that were cheaper, and what were those prices?
Exactly. I found estimates from 4 other dry cleaners in town. Mm-hmm. 2 of them quoted to clean and pleat the drapes, the same as Robert did. One was for $136, 7 times lower than his. Another quoted $60 to clean and pleat.
Right, but what about taking them down and putting them back up and all that work?
Right.
Right, because you could have taken them down yourself and sent them to a cleaner's and it would have been $100 or whatever. I get that. But why, how about all the other job entailed, which is, getting them up, getting them to look right, making sure the pleats fall. I mean, why didn't you call all those places before you hired him?
Well, that's the problem.
But whose problem is it?
Welcome back to the People's Court. I'm Harvey Levin. The plaintiff says he did a fine job installing curtains and didn't take advantage of anybody. However, the defendants claim this guy is charging them 10 times the going rate, and that's just not fair. Let's go back into the courtroom.
What's going on here now? What is your game plan here?
Well, the game plan is that I hope to convince, or at least reach a more reasonable settlement.
Okay, the irony is that you're the one who's being the bully. Like you imply that he's being a bully because he's sticking to a contract you agreed to. Meanwhile, you've held him hostage with you haven't paid him a penny. He already took down the stuff. He already cleaned the stuff. He already pleaded the stuff. He'd like to get paid, and you're the one hiring lawyers and to fight with him to now we got to change our contract. No, that's kind of the whole point of a contract. So now you've left it in my hands to decide whether this is an enforceable contract. There is nothing unconscionable about this contract. The man provides a service. He told her what it was. Oh, he was standing over me when I signed it. Don't sign it, okay? You know how to call other people and get other prices. The guy comes, he gives you a quote. He can take him down that day if you like the quote. You liked the quote. You signed the contract and you wanted the job done. It's just that somehow later, someone started calling other people thinking it was high. I have a hunch it maybe wasn't you. And then all of a sudden you're getting these other quotes. Oh, it's only $60 to dry clean. Yeah, you know what dry cleaning costs if you are the one getting on a ladder and having your life in your hands and then bringing all that stuff down. My verdict in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,294.39. That is what it costs now in storage and in the contract you agreed to, which is my job to enforce unless there's a legal reason not to. And I have heard nothing that even remotely resembles a legal reason not to. You just have buyer's remorse. You wish you had shopped more before you signed a contract. And if I let you out of your contract, I got to let the rest of America out of theirs. And that's not what this is about. Verdict for the plaintiff, $1,294.39.
Thanks, Your Honor.
So the plaintiff does indeed prevail in this case. No question about that. How do you feel about the judge's decision? What do you think?
Well, naturally, I'm disappointed, but I'm also glad that the whole thing's over because it caused me a lot of stress for many months and sleepless nights and regret. So
you could have alleviated all of that by paying him and getting your drapes back, and they'd be hanging in your house right now and looking beautiful. Mr. Bellavy, I don't think you've been having sleepless nights over this, have you?
No, I'm just tired of looking at her drapes for one thing. But I'm like the least pressure guy around. I told her, if you want to think about it, but she insisted to have them cleaned, so.
All right, sir. Well, obviously you provide a great service, and you deserve to be paid. And you are. You have prevailed. You're going to get your money, all $1,294 of it. So good luck to you. All right? Thank you very much, and congratulations.
Yeah, great being on here. It's been a true honor.
All right, indeed.
Okay, Doug, look, the defendants say that, the plaintiff was charging so much. In the law, we call it's unconscionable. The judge just said it wasn't. To prove that something is unconscionable, it really has to shock the conscience. It can't just be a bad deal. People make bad deals all the time, and judges don't undo them.
Is texting back and forth a type of written agreement or contract between parties, like reviewing agreements with landscapers or handymen and the like?
It can be, because, a contract can be oral or written.
Right.
And if you don't have like a formal written contract, then what a judge next looks at is what's the best evidence of an agreement between the parties.
If
it's in writing,
an oral contract, right? Then the writings, the exchanges can be evidence of the contract.
They're the best evidence of
or there might be
what
an
the
outright
agreement
contract. an offer and then an acceptance
Yeah.
with a
I mean,
price.
either way, whether you call that a written contract or not a written contract, it'll be the best evidence of the agreement between the parties.
Right.
It's going to cost you X for me to do Y.
Right.
And you're going to be hard pressed to later say, I was supposed to do Z and B and C, when all the agreement was Y, So, yeah, they're great. Texts are great. Texts are just...
It's been a revolution for judges,
revolution
right?
for judges.
Especially
then,
trying to look at these oral agreements where,
and then you find, is it a loan, is it a gift? Oh, I'll pay you. Okay, I'm so grateful for you fronting me the money. You'll just find the evidence of what in the past it used to be just a he said, she said, or a she said, or whatever. You'd sit there and you'd try to figure out who's the liar. Now you've got the evidence in the text. So I push for that all the time because that's usually the best evidence before the lawsuit brews.
That'll do it for this session of the People's Court. See ya.